right, you got to come say hi to everybody before I jump into our news of the week and what's happening. Say howdy.
Hi.
All right, you want to tell everybody, let's see, what do you want to tell everybody this week? You want to say, go Texas?
Go Texas.
Yes, that's good. I like that.
And we got a fire.
We got a fire, yeah.
And we got stuff for fire.
Yep.
And we got to put some woods in there.
Yeah, put some woods in there.
And we got to burn all this wood.
Yeah.
And we got to burn this plastics.
Anybody out there think he could give a speech already? That's right, Arlen for governor. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, good. Yeah, he's already been governor. He was governor of Patriot Academy when he was just a few days old.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you do.
And I go hunting today.
You go hunting in the day. So he's a true Texan. He goes hunting during the day. All right, buddy. Poppy's only got a few minutes. All right. That's what keeps me happy right there. I'm telling you. Grandpa likes my time with my grandson and my granddaughter. So that's Arlen and Trey and Andrew. For those of you that don't know, if you've ever watched Chasing American Legends, then you know we've got 4 kiddos. Trey's the oldest, and he actually proposed to Alexandra in Independence Hall. How cool is that, huh? And anyway, so they have 2 kids now, and that's Arlen, who you just met, and then Annabeth, y'all seen on here every once in a while. Listen, I'm just going to rattle off a few updates for you in case you've been wondering where things stand in some of these states. I had a great phone call just a few minutes ago with my buddy Pat Colbeck up in Michigan, former state senator there. He's been on the ground since the election, as you know, has been really watching things. He's already uncovered quite a bit. In fact, his affidavit is one of the affidavits that Kayleigh McEnany was talking about, when she said they've got something like 230 or something pages of documented affidavits. I think 500 different people have come forward, 11,000 irregularities. It's just over the top. I mean, they have definitely found a lot of stuff in Michigan. And so anyway, Pat Colbeck is on the ground continuing to monitor that. And if you want more details on Michigan, then be sure to tune in tomorrow on Wallbuilders Live. So go to wallbuilderslive.com, or if you're listening on one of these, yeah, go ahead and start. My fire's gone. That's always a bad omen. I don't like for the fire to go out, even when I'm doing a really short one. Thanks, Reagan. Wow, you must have hot air like your dad. You just blew a little dragon's breath in there, and the fire went, so you got to like that. Okay. Anyway, actually, you know what? Never mind. We don't need to do this tonight. There's no reason to have any more discussions about the election, because here's the breaking news. Constitutional scholar Alyssa Milano has already called it. I mean, she said Donald Trump is legally required to begin the transition. So, forget it. Let's everybody go home. Forget Michigan. Forget Wisconsin. Forget all the breaking of the law in Pennsylvania, forget Georgia, forget Arizona, forget Nevada. Alyssa Milano has said it's over. So, I don't know. I guess that's... Okay, forget Alyssa Milano. Obviously, there's no transition if you haven't had an election yet. So, what'd I start with? Michigan. All right, Michigan. We already have the massive irregularities. The lawsuits are already going there. The legislature's involved. Already mentioned that. Y'all know that. And we got a great Speaker of the House there leading the charge on that. Alaska finally called for Donald Trump. Now, why in the world it's just now being called is anybody's guess. Should have been called quite some time ago, but finally called for Donald Trump. Probably the biggest news of the day is Tom Tillis in North Carolina. So North Carolina coming through, Tom Tillis reelected to the U.S. Senate. That guarantees that our worst case scenario is a 50-50 split. But that could be a really bad case, right? If Biden and Harris are ultimately the winners, once the legal votes have been counted and the illegal votes discarded, if they end up winning, then obviously she's president of the Senate and would break every tie. And friends, I'm telling you, there is no stopping the socialist agenda at that point. If we lose the 2 seats in Georgia and it's a 50-50 tie and the Supreme Court does not uphold the rule of law in this election, or that rule of law does not change enough states, because it could be found that only Pennsylvania broke the law enough to have their election turned out, or overturned, or redone, or whatever. They may not find that in Michigan at the end of the day after all the investigations, or Wisconsin. Georgia may not change after the hand recount. So it is possible that we could uphold the rule of law in the Constitution and Joe Biden still wins. I mean, that is possible. Let's not fool ourselves, okay? And so if that happens and we lose the 2 seats in Georgia, then there's no stopping them. It will be, they've already started announcing the radical agenda that they will move forward with. So Georgia's going to be critical. While we're on Georgia, full hand recount has been called for. That is going to happen. There is no telling what that will uncover in Fulton County and a lot of these other places. So I do not think Georgia's out of play at all. I think there's a real possibility Georgia flips once we get into actually seeing all those ballots. And so fully be expecting that. That's going to take some time. That's going to take a lot of effort on the Georgia recount. Out of Utah, okay, this one's big, and I think you need to keep watching this one over the next few days. Burgess Owens, former NFL great and a phenomenal conservative. This guy will be, in Washington, D.C., he will become a conservative spokesman for our cause. He is phenomenal. I'm telling you, I've listened to him on Mark Levin and other programs. Solid on the biblical foundations of the country, understands the history of the country. He is just outstanding. And so if he wins that race, if Burgess Owens ends up winning that race, and he's ahead by, right now, he is ahead by about 1,300 votes. There's 29,000 more. Is the audio not coming through again?
It's coming through. It's just distant again.
Usually when I do this.
Okay.
Just unplug out, plug it back in.
Unplug it and plug it back in?
Yeah, just once. Okay, you should be good.
Guys, let me know if that got better on the audio, and someday we'll get decent microphones around here. Okay, he is ahead by about 1,300 votes, 29,000 votes still to be counted in Salt Lake County, but we don't know how many of those are in the 4th District where he's running. So it looks really good right now, but when you're praying for the Donald Trump race, please pray for the Burgess Owens race as well. We continue to pick up Republican seats, okay? The Democrats are going to have the majority, but just barely. And we continue to win some of these races and get not just Republicans elected. I'm talking conservative champions, so you should be very, very encouraged by that. All right, Arizona, we got 40,000 votes to go. There's a 12,000 vote difference as of late this afternoon. There's already lawsuits filed in that state as well, some filed today for errors and actions in Maricopa County. So I would say the vote margin looks insurmountable based on what the split has been, but that's without actually analyzing the votes and whether or not these irregularities, as they call it, in Maricopa County will change that. So we'll see. Arizona's not looking great, but we'll see. Probably the biggest news of the last couple of days was Giuliani saying they have over 900,000 illegal votes already identified. So that could, right there, overturn Pennsylvania. Now, you know, if you've been watching my updates, regardless of what the vote ends up being in Pennsylvania, I believe there's a really good chance that it is thrown out by the Supreme Court because of the Secretary of State and the governor breaking the law there and putting in a voting scheme that will end up disenfranchising a lot of people once you separate the illegal votes from the legal votes. So a lot to come from Pennsylvania, but just Giuliani announcing that is huge. And also tells you a lot about what could happen in these other states as they look closer. Remember, Pennsylvania is the first place we really dove into. In Philadelphia, we knew there was fraud there. I mean, one of their judge of elections last year went to prison, was convicted for major fraud. Not only him committing fraud, but approving other people's fraud in the last 3 elections. So we know this stuff is happening. The best news of all of this is the fact that this sunlight will be a great disinfectant. And I believe we're going to see some really positive changes come out of this. Sorry for looking at my watch. I got to be on a radio program in eight minutes, so I'm gonna try to keep going here and get all this in before we're done. But like I said, the sunlight is the best disinfectant. It's a little bit like, I've talked to you a little bit about the 1876 election, Rutherford B. Hayes, but the 1888 election is actually what this may mirror even closer. And you know, you may remember Sunday, I talked about the 1824 election where John Adams defeated Andrew Jackson in the vote in the House. The state delegations chose John Adams, even though Jackson was way ahead on the popular vote, 10% higher, had a 10% difference in them in popular votes. I mean, that's huge. And then way ahead in the Electoral College, but yet the House chose Adams. Jackson was hacked off, screamed fraud, screamed that there was all kinds of cronyism and that there was some kind of deal cut behind the scenes. and campaigned on that for 4 years and then won in 1828. So I don't know, maybe a theme there. If you have an election feels like it's stolen from you, you run again in 4 years, you win. Well, it happened again in 1888. So in 1888, Grover Cleveland was president, and he's actually running against Benjamin Harrison. And I mean, both sides claimed all kinds of, can I use the media's term, widespread fraud. I mean, it was all, they were buying votes. There was all kinds of testimony. Benjamin Harrison ends up defeating President Cleveland. Same thing, screaming fraud for 4 years. Cleveland comes back 4 years later and defeats him. So wait, let me think about that. A sitting president defeated by supposedly a lot of voter fraud, at least some accusations of that, comes back 4 years later and wins and gets revenge. I don't know, guys. I'm seeing a pattern here. Possibly could happen if we don't end up winning with all of the legal votes when this is said and done. By the way, that's the whole reason, when you were memorizing all the presidents in school, that dead gum Grover Cleveland, he kept showing up twice. It was confusing. He's like 24th and 26th president. How does anybody do that? Well, I just told you. That's how it ended up happening. Okay. Anyway, so Wisconsin, I didn't mention Wisconsin. We don't have any real breakthroughs there today, but that continues to be a place where the legislature is looking into it, and it's not going to take much to overturn Wisconsin. So that one definitely could still change as well. I feel like I missed one of these that I was going to talk about. The postal worker. So many of you might have seen Twitter posts or Facebook posts or other people saying that the postal worker has recanted and that there was never any, orders to backdate ballots and all that. That is baloney. We'll go watch the video. Project Veritas has released now the audio of the federal investigators twisting the arm of this guy. Trey, you remember his name? I'm forgetting the witness's name. Anyway, twisting his arm, essentially threatening him to change his testimony, which he did not do. And he's now doubled down and come out and said, absolutely, what I said is true. What they did, I know what I heard, I know what I saw. Anyway, so that's going to continue. I mean, that should chill you right there. Just the fact that federal investigators are in there doing that. So listen, folks, there is a lot more to this. There's a lot more to come. Do not lose heart. Do not be faint of heart. And don't lose your joy. I mean, there are really good things happening even during the recount and the result of all of these investigations. I am so glad that we are finally refusing to just look the other way. See, that's what we've done for years. We've just looked the other way. All this stuff happening. We knew it was happening. And everybody just said, well, it's just part of the deal. There's nothing we can do about it, or whatever excuse they would use. Not this time. And that's what they counted on. They thought we would just walk away and say, well, there's nothing we can do about it. No way. We're seeing this through because this is no longer, as I've said over and over and over again, it's not about Donald Trump, not about Joe Biden. It's about the Constitution. It's about the rule of law. And it's about our faith in future elections. That's what this is really about. Okay, I need a favor from everybody. I'm asking everybody that's watching this, whether you're watching it live or this is shared with you, I'm asking for a favor, and here's what it is. I am in Facebook jail. They have put me in some kind of special jail just for those who have shared information either about masks not being efficient. That was the first video that they pinged me on, was an interview between Tony Robbins and a doctor that's talking about his experience and why what we're doing with the whole COVID response is crazy. So they popped me for that one, and then they popped me for sharing Project Veritas and the testimony of what actually happened in that postal worker situation. And so they've now frozen me out. I can't run ads. I can't boost my post. And they have told me most people are not going to see your post anymore. They've literally throttled me down to where only a handful of people are going to get my post. So normally Facebook is the place that we really blast out to folks, that and our email list. So I need your help. We posted just a few minutes ago, and if you're on my Facebook page, and I'm asking you to go to my Facebook page, so you're not going to see most of this stuff in your feed, okay? So you have to go to facebook.com/Patriot Rick Green, okay? Facebook.com/Patriot Rick Green. And this live video, what you're watching right now, if you will scroll up or down, whichever way it goes, to the previous video that I just shared, it's a constitutional minute about the elections and the constitutional process. And so what I've done in that constitutional minute is I've broken this down and I've explained the three things we need for good, fair elections that we can have faith in: transparency, verification of the votes, and remedies, legal remedies whenever the law is violated. And I break that down. I explain the constitutional provisions in Article 1 and Article 2 and in the 12th Amendment. I walk through all of that. and I hope you will share that. Get your friends and family educated. Watch it yourself. It'll help you answer questions over Thanksgiving as people ask you questions about how this ought to work. And there's some interesting history in there from that 1824, 1876, and 1888 from those elections. And so please share that for me. That's the only way this is going to get out now that the fact checkers, the censors, the fascists at Facebook have shut me down and are not allowing me to share. The other thing is we're going to these other social media platforms. So get on Parler, get on, nobody's told me yet whether it's Mayway, MeWe, Mewa, Mama, I don't know. But anyway, it's MEWE. So go to MeWe, Mama, whatever it is, and that's going to be a place that we start posting regularly. A lot of you have already friended me on there. Thank you for that. We just joined last night. And then, of course, Parler as well. I think we're going to check out Rumble. We're going to look for wherever the places are that conservatives can go and not be censored, not be have a platform that's run by fascists that prevent us from just speaking whatever we believe. Look, if I say something that's wrong, you can point it out. You can make me the fool, right? I mean, that's what's so crazy about Fox News turning off Kaylee when she's pointing out. She's just giving the examples that they found. And they for Fox News to do that. We're done with Fox News, by the way. Just done with them. It's nuts. Anyway, so that's what I need you to do. Please, please, please go to that video. That's a video that we really want to spread far and wide. It's a constitutional minute on the election chaos, what the Constitution says, and what we can learn from history about how this could all play out. And we're not going to know for sure for several weeks, but we have some good examples in those elections of what can be done constitutionally. There's really not anything here that is completely new. I mean, as Solomon said, there's nothing new under the sun. But even these exact scenarios we're facing, we've faced before, we've dealt with this before. And if the Supreme Court and the state legislators, remember that's who really has the power here, if they uphold the rule of law and the Constitution, we're going to get a winner based on legal votes, not illegal votes. Okay, last thing I'll leave you with is be sure and get on our email list because you may not see us on Facebook. And then also be watching. Georgia is the Alamo. Georgia is where it's at for the next, 55 days. And so be watching. We'll have some announcements. We want to help people campaign there, and we may be making a little tour ourselves throughout Georgia with some folks that you will know, and really ginning up folks and getting them excited about the importance of those two Senate runoffs there in Georgia. So if you're in Georgia, we hope to see you in the coming weeks, and we hope that you are going to be very active over the next 55 days. It's critical, folks. If we don't win those two seats, just think about it. Just think about Kamala Harris as president of the Senate with a 50-50 tie and having to watch her break every tie that moves us into socialism day by day by day. They'll absolutely run the table if we don't win in Georgia. So be paying attention and look for ways to help us out there. I think that's it. I know you probably got some questions, and I'm so sorry that I was so limited on time. We got a bunch of other shows we're doing tonight. So please share this and share that Constitutional Minute. God bless you. Be encouraged. We'll be back on at some point over the next few days. And for all of you that are coming with us to Frontside, we are looking forward to training with you on the range and in the classroom. We're going to have a massive class studying the Constitution and studying how to defend ourselves physically as well. And if you haven't been able to get into a class yet, December 13th, Trey told me it's already filling up. We don't have a whole lot of seats left, but we got a few. So if you want to be on that December 13th trip, you need to get signed up in the next few days. I'm telling you, it's going to fill up. We're also going to have a Constitution coach training on the 13th as well. So the course, the Constitutional Defense course, starts in the evening on Sunday the 13th, but during the day I'll be doing a Constitution coach training in person. So if you haven't signed up as a coach yet, now is the time, and then go with us to Pahrump and get the opportunity to get your coach training, your handgun training, your Constitution training all in one, and have a great time with a bunch of fellow patriots before Christmas. It'll be your Christmas. We'll have more fun, I'm telling you, at that class than you're going to have at Christmas. God bless you guys. We'll see ya.